Santa Clown. Do you like it? It's just one of the new marketing ideas we're working with up at the North Pole. Last year, we experimented with sex toys. Boy, are the reindeer glad that's over. But actually, I'm not Santa. I'm just another one of his illegitimate children. And but I was working this club down there in the Tenderloin, you know. And about 8 people, 2 of them were awake. And I was walking back to my car, you know, and I was passing McDonald's. And the ladies in there had on these red baseball caps with the McDonald's logo on them, you know, and red aprons. And then I passed Burger King, and they had on blue baseball caps in there with the Burger King logo on it, and blue polo shirts. And then I got up to the corner where my car was, you know, and there was a lady standing there, and she had on black patent leather high-heel boots that came up over her knees, and black hot pants, and a black patent leather motorcycle jacket, and black hair, lots of it, and black eyeshadow, and black lipstick, and black nail polish, and a silver lame bustier. Very impressive. And I was thinking, you know, I don't know who she's working for, but it's sure making me hungry for a burger. By the way, did you hear the news? The big drug companies are giving away the Viagra now. They're giving it away. That way they expect to make the big money on the Prozac you buy for all that rejection. But, on a personal note, I was up at the VA hospital. I'm a vet, you know. They were looking for a few good men. Evidently they weren't too particular. But I was up there getting my annual checkup, and you know, they got pretty good health care up there, except for 2 things. George Bush is always cutting the benefits, and number 2, if you're an older vet like me, they're always after you to the colonoscopy. Yeah, you go up there and the first thing they say is, have you been thinking about that colonoscopy? And I'm thinking, not when I'm driving a motor vehicle. Then next time you go up there, they say, we'd like to make you more comfortable with that colonoscopy. You know, we'd like to tell you something more about it. We have a computer. It's got a screen on it, and it's got a keyboard, and then it's got a cord, and it's about 12 feet long, and it's got a camera on the end of it. What do you think? And I'm thinking, you know, number 1, first George Bush, and now this. And then I'm thinking, what's this got to do with in Homeland Security? And then I'm thinking, about that keyboard, you know, and I'm thinking, not the way I like to get my email. And then I was thinking, you know, damn, that's a 35mm camera. No fucking way. But then I was thinking, well, you know, when the mother-in-law comes over and she says in that condescending way, what have you been doing with yourself lately? Anything? I can say, oh yeah, I got some pictures to show you. Anyway, you know, I'm getting old and cranky and depressed, and my wife said, you should get in touch with the feminine side. So I did. I'm still old and cranky and depressed, but Now my breasts hurt. But you know how it is when you get older and you start to lose your memory. Yeah. The whole memory doesn't go. You lose the short-term memory and you keep the long-term memory. Right now, I can't remember anything that happened 2 minutes ago, but I can remember everything that happened in 1946. And it can be humiliating and embarrassing. Sometimes I'm in the bathroom, you know, and I'm standing there and I'm thinking, why am I in here? I go out into the living room and I sit down to watch some TV and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, boy, I gotta pee. So I go back in and I'm standing there and I'm thinking, why am I in here? And I look over and I see my wife out of the corner of my eye. So I grab something, you know, anything. Usually it's a handful of tissues. And I grab it and I go, oh, here it is. And I storm out of there and I go out into the living room and I sit down in my chair. I'm sitting there and I look down at my hand and I see the tissues and I'm thinking, what the fuck is this about? And I look over and there comes the wife. So I grab the cat and I go, just blow hard, just blow hard. But you know, I got this car and the gas gauge broke. And now not only do I have to remember to get gas, I got to remember if I got gas. So I'm driving along, you know, and all of a sudden I hear, oh, I look in the rearview mirror, highway patrol. I look in the side view, same thing. Pull on over and the officer approaches the vehicle, you know, and he says, do you know you went through a stop sign back there? And I'm thinking, you know, how the fuck should I know? So I say, I can't remember. He says, well, you better start remembering. I said, well, why? He said, because I'm going to write you a ticket for going through that stop sign. And so you better start thinking about it. So he's writing away, and I'm thinking. Shit. That happened in 1946. So, it's true. They don't quit until they get their man. But anyway, I'm driving along, and I pull into this gas station. I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, why am I in here? I see the pumps, and so I go, oh, pump, get gas. So I get out, and I put the thing in there, and I start pumping, and it goes, bing, 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 and it stops at 20 cents. It's full. So now for some humiliation. I got to go in there and pay the attendant. So I go in there and I give him the money, you know, and he looks at it and he says, ooh-wee, 20 cents. Thanks for your patronage, old timer. On the way out, I just couldn't help myself. I just screamed at him. Yeah, well, back in 1946, I could have got 2 fucking gallons for that. Anyway, my wife is trying to help me out with this memory thing. She's given me vitamins. Vitamin B5, pantothenic acid. Yeah, I'm afraid to take it. The last time I took acid, I remembered shit that didn't happen. But I'm drug-free now, except for X-Lax. But actually, I lied. Sometimes when I take the X-Lax, I pop a Viagra. Then I sit around and wait to see what happens first. At my age, who cares? But what's next, Mike? Pardon me? Okay. You know, have you been keeping up with that salmon controversy? Have you been keeping up? It's still going on. Salmon is in short supply. It's almost on the endangered list. And the big cat food companies, they're still making cat food out of it. I always imagine, what are they thinking, you know? I always imagine a couple of big grizzly bears up in Alaska, standing in the river fishing, you know, And one grizzly bear says, "Gee, not many salmon this year." And the other grizzly bear, number 2 bear, says, this might sound crazy, but do you think maybe cats are eating them? And how about that? Cat food, okay. And how about dog food? Why advertise dog food? Dogs don't care. Dogs eat cat shit. What are dogs thinking? Cats are bearing it. It must be good. But, and how about that aromatherapy? Those essential oils, they not only make you smell good, they make you feel good too. They got lavender, makes you feel calm. And they got rose oil, makes you feel joy. And they got patchouli, makes you feel groovy. Me, personally, I like a woman that smells like turkey bacon. Yeah. That makes me feel good. I like to put on a little of that oil of musk, It comes from the glands, from the hindquarters of a muskox. I feel good about that. Then I like to go out with a woman that smells like turkey bacon. It's an evening you'll never forget. But as you get older, those things you were going to do before you died, that list gets longer instead of shorter, Right now my list is number 1, turkey bacon. Number 2, turkey bacon. Number 3, sex and turkey bacon. Sure, I like sex, but I've only had turkey bacon a couple of times. And on a personal note, my driver's license expired. And so I sent it in to get it renewed, I try to avoid any personal contact with the DMV. And I got it back, and it was renewed, and it came with a postcard and a little pink sticker asking me to be an organ donor. And I was thinking, what were they thinking? They must have seen my age. You can get a bit of liver at Safeway. And then I was thinking, well, my heart's in pretty good shape. I've never had any heart problems, so I filled out the postcard and I sent it in. And I put the sticker on my license, and a few days later I was reading this article in the magazine about how the recipients of heart transplants not only get the heart of the donor, but they get the emotions and the feelings too. Have you heard about that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I was driving around in my car, and I was imagining I was in this terrible traffic accident, trying to run over my first wife. And I was laying there dead on the pavement, and the paramedics roll up, and they see I'm dead, and they take out my license, and they see my pink sticker, so they start taking my heart out, and they take it off to the hospital that night, and they transplant it. And the next morning, this guy wakes up in the hospital with my heart, and the doctor comes in and says, "So, how are you feeling with your new heart transplant?" And the guy says, "Doc, this might sound crazy, but I feel like some turkey bacon." Thank you, and good night.